place called Impact, and we discovered this guy that likes Allen Iverson. Go figure. He's from New Jersey. Go figure. I'm from Pennsylvania. So we immediately connected off of just having the same vibe and growing up knowing the really good, consistent ball players. So we asked him to come speak to you guys. He also became a physical therapist for Eli, physical therapist for my daughter sometimes. I'm scared, so I don't go to him. No kidding. He's great. I tease him, but he's great. So Dr. Brandon is going to come and speak to you guys and do a couple activities with you all and talking about what it takes to be an athlete in its totality. Okay? So guys, welcome, Dr. Brandon.
I need more energy than that. Let's go. Have my notes here. So again, my name is Dr. Brandon. I work at Impact Sports PT in Hanover. So again, train Drew, Eli, Yvonne. So they know what I'm about. But honestly, I'd like to thank Lifetime Athletics for this opportunity because again, when I was their age, when I was your age, I didn't really have this. So I kind of had to figure out a lot of stuff on my own, outside of my parents, but like they didn't really understand all this and like that. So again, I'm just thankful for this opportunity. All right, so growing up, I was a student athlete myself, so I ran track, but basketball was my main sport. Basketball. I feel like I made a lot of mistakes, and this is why I'm happy that I'm here, because I don't want y'all to make that same mistake. Because again, I feel like that can deter you from really getting to where you need to get to. All right, so being a student athlete, yeah, it's good to be good on the court and everything, but your grades have to be good. Now, in high school, I was average, like, my grades are average. I was just trying to get by because I'm just trying to hoop, like, I'm trying to go to the NBA. But there's a lot more to that, so like, definitely pay attention. Like, this is really life stuff here. And I feel like two things I really want to bring up that really helped me, very important, two things. So one, waking up early, right? That is crucial, waking up early. With that, you have a lot more time during your day. So let's say if you have to be at school for 7, wake up at 5, right? So you're probably like, oh, that's way too early. Why wake up at 5? You got to think about it. If you have to be at school for 7, a lot of your classmates are waking up at like 6:30, 6:20, depending on how far they live. They showering, they just get ready to go to school. When you wake up at 5, you can work on your basketball skills, right? So let's say if you're struggling with your jump shot, you can work on your mid-range, you can work on your three-point shot, right? Or if you're not really doing well in class, in a particular class, you can do homework, you can study, right? So you give yourself that hour, so from 5 to 6, you work on yourself. That's the best thing you can do, right? So you don't have to worry about, just getting by and, just getting the grades, and then that could affect your eligibility in college because other colleges like, well, okay, this person has a 3.1, he's just getting by, but we can also take this same student athlete who is just as good as you, that has a 3.8, that I know that will flunk out of college. So you gotta keep that in mind. So I wanted to bring that up. So my next 3 points are gonna be resiliency, focus, and adaptability. So who can tell me what resiliency is, in your own words? Okay. Anybody else? Resiliency.
It could be like tough, like for you to be able to do like things and like go through it, you like keep going.
Yes. One more. Anybody else? Somebody from this side of the room. There you are. Yes. Good. Love those answers. So the Google definition is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, toughness. So one thing I learned in high school, being an athlete prepares you for life. Because you're gonna have your ups and downs, but you have to learn how to deal with them. So for example, you guys have probably had bad shooting games, right? Like you maybe haven't made a 3-pointer or you shot like 1 for 10, right? From the field. Resiliency is staying after that. So after all that, you talk to the coach, staying after, getting extra jump shots in. Maybe you have to work on your mechanics. Maybe you have to go through certain plays with certain teammates to get you in a better position or to get them in a better position, right? All that matters with basketball. So that's resiliency. Again, I just feel like there aren't that many people who really teach that. That's just kind of something you kind of gotta have. And if you're really passionate about something, I feel like that's just something, you just gotta prove to yourself, You can't really expect your coach to wake you up early in the morning to go get shots up if you're not shooting well, just little stuff like that. Or you can't expect your teacher to kind of pull you to the side and say, hey, you're bugging a little bit. You need to get your grade up in algebra, So that's something you just gotta keep in mind. And I want to bring up 2 live examples regarding resiliency. So the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers, right? I don't know if y'all remember that. Some of y'all might be a little too young, but if you do, that's cool, right? Andrew, you laughing? So they were down 3-1, right, to the Warriors. The Warriors were deemed the best team ever. So they had a 73-9 record, right? 3-1 in the NBA Finals, the most important stage in basketball, right? LeBron and Kyrie were like, nah, we're not going outside like that, we worked too hard, we know what we're capable of doing, and they were able to accomplish the unthinkable. They came back from a 3-1 deficit to beat the Warriors, right? And to give Cleveland their first championship. That's the type of mindset you need to have. My second is Jalen Hurts, all right? So my guy Jalen Hurts, I'm an Eagles fan, so my guy Jalen Hurts took a nasty L in 2023, against the Chiefs, and there was a photo of him walking through the confetti, right? His head all down, he looked all sad while the Chiefs were celebrating. And he used that as motivation to get back to where he needed to be. He's like, yo, I'm gonna get back to the Super Bowl and I'm gonna win. And he literally did that 2 years later against the same team, right? It's funny how life works in mysterious ways. He didn't give up, that's resiliency. So next is adaptability. Who can tell me what adaptability is?
Like, when something changes, you just look at how you do things. Like, if I mess up my elbow, maybe I have to shoot more with my leg. I can't do as much with my elbow.
Sure, like that. Anybody else? 2 more. You're considering you. Just give me a chance. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Somebody on this side. Adaptability. All right, go ahead, Julie. What are you gonna say?
I was trying to say, becoming accustomed to your environment, and what you're gonna do environment, be accustomed to it.
So the definition, the quality of being able to adjust to new conditions, all right? So when I hear of adaptability, I think of sacrifice. Again, basketball is a team sport, right? So we all have to sacrifice for one another at some point, right? So for example, let's say if Elijah's the best three-point shooter, right? And let's say he's the best rebounder. Let's say Elijah's not really having the best shooting game, but he's having the better shooting game. Elijah's gonna sacrifice his shot attempts, for the sake of the team because he's making his shots and the team is winning, right? At the end of the day, we all want to win, right? So that's what adaptability is. And one example I want to bring up with adaptability is Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors, right? So again, I wasn't really too fond of that move, but I understood why Steph Curry and Klay Thompson did what they did. So they knew they were getting a bona fide scorer with Kevin Durant, right? Obviously one of the best scorers of all time. So Steph Curry knew, and he pulled Klay to the side like, yo, if we're trying to win, we're gonna have to take a backseat to Kevin Durant because they knew they needed his scoring to win games. And literally, Steph went from the number 1 option to the number 2 option. Klay Thompson went from the number 2 option to the number 3 option. And they let Kevin Durant kind of be that primary scorer, right? And as a result, I believe they won 2 championships from that. So keep that in mind. If somebody of Steph Curry's caliber could sacrifice, you guys can too. And it's gonna benefit the team in the long run. All right. Next, I'm gonna talk about diet, balance, and recovery. So this is where things get a little interesting. So I'm gonna bring up LeBron again, just because I don't know if y'all have heard, but he's spent over $1 million with all of that. And obviously you see the man has played 22 years and doesn't really show signs of slowing down. Like that's insane. 22 years. Like this man still has his knees, his ankles. Most NBA players who play that long need a knee replacement. Seriously. Like there are a couple of NBA players that just retired that said they need knee replacements. But this man is still going strong. And I really, really believe it's because of his diet, balance, and recovery. So I know I was watching an interview on that, and LeBron said he sleeps at least 6 hours a night, right? At least, and he takes multiple naps throughout the day. And again, he credits his recovery because we need physiologically, like we need to recover, we need to sleep. So I don't really believe in you gotta pull an all-nighter to be great. Nah, because the brain can't really handle that in its full capacity. Like your body, your muscles, your nervous system needs that recovery, right? And I truly believe part of LeBron's longevity is because he sleeps so much, he recovers. On top of that, he does like a lot of ice treatments, compression wounds, and everything. So ice treatment pretty much helps facilitate blood flow throughout the muscles and the joints to kind of help with inflammation and everything, kind of push that out the way and just help you make you feel better, you know. And again, you want to feel good when you're playing. So that's that regarding that. Next is diet. So, I mean, I know when I was your age, I was wilding. I wasn't eating the best. I was eating whatever. But it's important, and I know y'all parents are probably doing this or your guardians. Make sure you're eating your vegetables. So what they don't tell you in school is vegetables has a lot of electrolytes, which is essential for bone growth, for muscle development, everything, right? And it's gonna keep you hydrated. So have any of y'all experienced cramps before during the game? They suck, right? It's bad, right? It's very bad. Like, you know, you can barely even run down the court without cramping. You can prevent cramps by eating vegetables, right? And drinking a lot of water, all right? Gatorade is cool too, but water is the most essential thing to drink. Gatorade doesn't reach to, everywhere in the body, but water does, so keep that in mind. Like, it's like the whole science behind that. But that's why I'm always a firm believer in drinking water. So just keep that in mind. Any questions so far?
So you're saying we have to have vegetables, right?
Yep.
For hydration.
Yes.
Right? And is there anything else that you would suggest to growing boys, these are preteen and teenagers, or other parts of their diet that they should make sure they incorporate regularly, consistency?
Yes. So a lot of vitamin D, a lot of vitamin C, and I would also recommend, if you can tell your guardians, to try to get into liquid vitamins. So I still take liquid vitamins to this day, and I feel like that can help me as an athlete. So with liquid vitamins, it's basically like a liquid with all the essential vitamins in there. So your vitamin D, your vitamin C, your B12 complex, everything. So it has that all in one. You take that daily, and it's gonna help with the immune system, you know, keeping you on the court. It's gonna help with your attention span, you know, which would be essential for you in class, paying attention and all that. I'll probably say that's like the next big thing regarding that. Yep.
And it needs to be consistent, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Great question. So I prefer taking it at night just because when we go to sleep, you know, our digestive system isn't really working as much, and I like to kind of let the vitamin kind of soak. But research has shown that that's better, like for consumption, rather than taking it, you know, in the morning, because then you gotta eat breakfast and you gotta eat lunch, and that can kind of affect it a little bit. So I would prefer you take it at night. That would probably be better for overall absorption. Yes.
How much protein do you eat in a day?
That's a great question. So that's out of my scope, but you would have to contact the nutrition regarding that. But I can tell you it is relative to your body weight. So depending on how much you weigh, you don't want to overconsume, but you don't want to underconsume. But that is out of my scope as a physical therapist.
What time should you be eating like the most protein? Let's say not a protein shake.
Yes.
Should I think that before or after I work out?
It kind of depends. You got to listen to your body. So if you drink it before and then you go work out, you feel crazy, like you feel lethargic, then I probably wouldn't drink it before. But you know, if you're able to again sustain a workout and then drink this stuff, and then you feel good after that, then drink it after. So it's kind of like trial and error. Pretty much. Also, make sure if you're taking a protein shake, drink a lot of water. They don't tell you this. So if you don't drink a lot of water, you're taking all that creatine is going to build up. Creatine is a substance, and that can affect your kidneys. And you don't want that. That's just going to, no, you don't want that. So drink a lot of water if you're consuming a lot of protein shakes. Any other questions? I think I saw some hands. All right. Do y'all have any shoes or any active footwear? So we're going to do a couple of things. Oh, I thought you had a question. No more questions? All right, everybody put their shoes on. Everybody get active.